Good morning. So yesterday my fiance and I had a meeting about the wedding, and I was telling him that I want to get my dad quotes, invoices, deposit amounts, things like that. My dad will be submitting a payment sometime in February to DJ, photographer, things like that. So fiance and I had a talk last night, and he was like, I feel like, why are you rushing? Like, why do you feel like you have to get him this information? And I just want to mention this part just because it caused a little bit of a stir between us. But what I want to reiterate is that being prepared or doing things early is not necessarily considered like rushing. And we noticed something last night. You're just paying the deposit. And the good thing about that is in your contract, you should be able to read and see if, can I get my deposit back if I find a different vendor that I ended up liking more. I mean, obviously you can't tell somebody that directly, but you can say something like, I no longer need your services. Is there any way I can get my deposit back? So what I'm trying to say is go ahead and pick your people, put your deposits down, especially if your wedding's within 9 months to a year, because you need to book your people. They need to put you down on their calendar for that specific date. And like I said, this is just deposit. So if you're able to do that, do that. My dad wanted to pay in full for everything. That's something that I've also heard from other people, is to be careful of that. Don't pay in full, 9-10 months before the wedding. And my fiance and I were talking last night, and I'm like, well, God forbid something happens to the vendor. I hate to say this, get hit by a bus, have to move because of an emergency. I mean, there's all kinds of things that could happen. So that's also why we think you shouldn't pay in full. So get your deposit in, have them put you on their calendar so they are committed to your wedding date and you as a couple. And the other thing we talked about is budgeting for DJ and photographer. So when it comes to photographer, I found a girl. I love her work. I'm not going to say it on here because I just, I don't want to give her prices out, but her package was roughly like $5,400, so $5,400. And honestly, I just didn't feel right going to my dad and saying, hey, can you buy me a $5,300 photographer? And I scratched that. I'm sorry. It was videographer and photographer. So I just thought that was a little extreme, especially for our budget. So we said we're not going to do that photographer. We found another photographer that is a very good guy. We trust him, and we think we're going to go with him. He actually did my graduation photos, and he did our engagement photos, which we're excited to see the engagement photos. We have not got those back yet. We are waiting for him to send those to us. So with that being said, we think we have our photographer figured out. The only problem is he doesn't do videography. So we are going to try to outsource videography. He had a referral, so we're going to contact those people and see what their prices are. I really want a videographer. So that's another thing that a lot of people are telling me, that videography is super important. And it's basically like your love story in a video. So I would love to have that. Sorry, there's a train going by. So I would love to have that. And I definitely want to do, the getting ready pictures, pictures with me and my mom, pictures with me and the in-laws, just sweet moments before the wedding of getting ready and just the anticipation. So guys, by the way, my fiance works right over there. Hi, fiance. He works at a tool and construction supply company. So anyways, I'm on my way to work. So the main purpose of this video is just to reiterate that the sooner you book your vendors, the better. And I know it's nerve-wracking because you're putting money down, but just really focus on getting the people that you like, getting quotes from them, figuring out if you can afford them. So for instance, the videographer, I loved her work. I mean, it's just out of this world, but I'm not going to pay $5,300 for a photographer and a videographer. Somebody else might be able to, but not me. So it's almost like you have that reality check of like, okay, I love her work, but do I also love other people's work that are more affordable? And I'm not a professional, so it's like I can't say really the difference between this person's work and that person's work other than the visual. I mean, and so long story short, just be mindful of budget. Just don't go to the extreme if you don't have to. I mean, try to bring yourself down a notch. I mean, yes, this is a very important day of your life, probably the most important day of your life. It's special, but just also remember who you are. Stay true to yourself. You know, we're not Real Housewives of New York or whatever, Beverly Hills. We're not gonna do a photographer and a videographer that's that much. So what I'm gonna do is get the videographer and photographer. I'm gonna get quotes by the end of this month. So it's January of 2023, and I'm focusing on getting quotes from the videographer, photographer, and DJ. So I haven't talked about DJ. DJ, I've also been told, is very important. DJ basically controls the vibe of your wedding. You know, they can help you avoid awkward moments. They can help you avoid uncomfortable songs. Just, they're almost like an orchestrator. So you want to make sure that person knows what they're doing. They have good communication. They know that, you know, their role is to do what they do music-wise, but also to understand the flow of the wedding, from the garter toss to the first dance to the, you know, father-daughter dance. They need to understand that the flow of that is very important, and it's also very special. So make sure you get a DJ that understands that there is a flow of the reception. It's not just like start playing music and just like fly by the seat of your pants. There is going to be a schedule. There is going to be preferences, and you just need to make sure that your DJ is open to all that and has experience. Now, with that being said, we're having trouble finding a DJ because the prices range from anywhere from $200 an hour to, you know, $5,000. So I think last night my fiance and I came to the conclusion that we want to spend between $700 and $1,000 for a DJ. That's what we prefer. We're not gonna go above that. I was looking at a package that was $2,500, but after we looked at the grand scheme and all the other details of the budget, we're like, okay, we don't need a monogram. So that was a huge part of the budget also for the DJ. So we said we're not gonna do the monogram, and honestly, I thought of an idea of getting a projector, our own projector, and finding our own like monogram slide to put in it. I don't know if that's actually doable or not, but we could try. So long story short, cutting out the monogram is gonna do, it's gonna save us a lot. Sorry guys, my hair is looking, I think the sunlight's just making my hair look like it's sticking up, but it's really not. DJ. So we have an option to do hourly, or you can do the package where it comes with like a set number of hours. So I think we're gonna need 6 hours because our wedding's from 4 to 10. So we will be looking for a DJ for the next week. I'm meeting with my dad on the 27th of this month, so we have roughly 9 days to kind of get proposals together, quotes, because I'm gonna present those to him in a professional manner so he can get the funding. So that is just a little update. Again, my fiance and I got a little, you know, hot and bothered last night about talking about, you know, why do we have to make decisions so quick? Now, with saying that, I think we can compromise. Again, the deposit part is what's kind of the saving grace in my eyes. You're not paying for the entire bill. So what Michael was saying is, why, what if, can't we spend more time looking? I'm like, we can, but honestly, I feel like the more options you have and the more you look, the further in the rabbit hole you go, if that makes sense. I think you just need to figure out like what your budget is, the type of person you're looking for, and then if you find one, meet them. If you feel it out and they seem like they're a good fit, just do it. Like, I understand some people are like, oh, you need to be really careful and really selective, but it's also like, okay, but you can spend months doing that, I mean, how many photographers are there out there? Probably more than we can even count. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that, yes, you need to be selective, but also I think the more you look, the more overwhelmed you get, and honestly, the more ideas you get and the more things you want. Does that make sense? Like, you'll start to see, oh, well, they do this, I want that. And oh, it's like, the more you look, sometimes it's the case of like, the more the merrier. That does not apply in this case. For me, I just get overwhelmed. I just need like one or two options. Like, hey, this is within budget. I know they've done this before. Their website looks professional. Their proposals look professional. They have pictures of previous parties. They have testimonials, things like that. So long story short, don't be too worried about it. Be cautious, read contracts, things like that. But also don't look for months. I mean, like I said, that can go on and on and on. There's an unlimited number of DJs and photographers and stuff like that. Just get a handful, start to narrow them down, and move forward. Be very intentional. Stay on schedule. So for January of 2023, our goals are photographer, videographer, DJ. So we're slowly but surely looking at decor for the centerpieces, things like that. But that budget or that cost or expense is going to come more in, like, I would say April or May, I think. So for right now, we're just getting ideas, but main things for January is DJ, videographer, and videographer. So we're going to stay with the budget of between $700 and $1,000 for DJ, and then photographer, I think what we're going to do is keeping it around $1,600 for the photography, which I still think, I don't know, we might need to get, I think that's for 6 hours, but I think we need 8 hours. So long story short, we're going to try to do photography for like maybe $1,600. Hopefully we can find videography for around the same amount. So total for videographer and photographer, let's say like $3,000, $3,500, something like that. So between photographer, videographer, and DJ, we're looking at $1,000 for DJ plus, let's say, $3,500. So $4,500 for photographer and DJ. And mind you, our venue was a little over $3,000, so we're at like $7,500, something like that. So I'm trying to keep the budget below 10. I don't think I'm going to be able to do that, but I'm going to keep trying. And if I go over a little bit, I think my dad will be okay with that. Again, I have to consider wedding dress, decor, flowers, things like that. Luckily, my fiance's family is helping with certain things. Like food and alcohol. Luckily, my dad doesn't have to take care of that, so that increases the budget in other areas. So long story short, we are moving along and we're having fun. We have lots to do, but we're also very organized, and we know what we like, we know what we don't like, and we're not gonna sit there and act like we're rich when we're not. So we're gonna cut expenses where we can. The main things that I really want are a flower wall and what was the other thing? A flower wall and the M&C lights. So we're gonna have some 3-foot lights, one that's an M, and then the ampersand, the and sign, and then a C. So those are 2 cute little like decor additions that I really, really want. So anyways, that's all for today. I made a poster board last night putting all of our priorities for January in the room, so that way when we see them, we have a visual reminder. My fiance is working on getting a quote from a DJ today, so I will keep you updated. And I will try to post a video of my binder, which is how I stay organized, and I have a little vision board that I'm starting in the binder as well. So that's all for today. I hope you guys have a great day, and